Guys, one more thing I wanted to talk about or showcase is I actually did break open my C-band dish box, and I just wanted to look at it. Something else I wanted to showcase. This right here is my original DieSelect switch. In the previous video, you may have noticed that I went outside and I very quickly took a shot of my motorized KU band and my two other spare satellite dishes that are sitting off into the corner. The the 90 centimeter dish that you saw laying upside down in the grass, I'm going to be redeploying that satellite dish in the near future. I just haven't done so yet. That dish that you saw laying upside down was actually my original FTA KU band 90 centimeter dish that I got about 11 years ago. That dish is pretty old, and it was sitting on my roof for a really long time. And this is the actual switch for the original satellite dish. This is the switch for it. I believe, although remember, this thing was sitting on my roof for like 11 years, and the sun really beat down on it. And you can really see how the sun scorched it. It still works. It's still a functioning switch. It took a licking and it kept on ticking. It's a two switch. It's a two position switch. The center one is the one that goes to the satellite receiver. The two on the outside are the actual LNB connected inputs. Still works. I could still use it for something if I wanted to. For now, I'm not going to, because I went ahead and went on Amazon and bought one of these. Well, I bought actually two of those. I bought two of them. They're basically the same thing as this, only they're a total. They got 5 positions on them. The one in the middle goes to the receiver. The one here goes to one LNB. The one here goes to a second one. The one here goes to a third one, and the one here goes to a fourth one. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, is this why there's 4 outputs on these LNBs? No, that's not the reason. The reason there's 4 outputs is because I have a plan to send each one of these outputs to a different one of these. This will allow for one single satellite receiver to have access to 4 different satellites. One satellite here, one satellite here, one satellite here, and one satellite here. And then the lone receiver output goes to each receiver. Now, right now, I only have 2 of these. And I've got this one. I'm going to buy 2 more of these right here, which is this. And basically all the receivers in my house will have access to the exact same programming. And one other thing I did is I bought one of these. I actually bought 2 of these. These are always good to have around. They were only like $3, real cheap. It's a very simple concept of how it works. You basically, you connect up your satellite LNB on the one side, and then you connect the receiver to the other. This meter gets its power from the satellite receiver because it sends a low voltage signal to this little device to power it. And what it does is it creates a sound. It emits a high-pitched signal, audible, that you can use to help aim the satellite dish. And I think this thing's going to come in really handy when it comes to installing this thing, the C-band system. Now, here is what the kit of my C-band dish looks like. It doesn't look like much. It really doesn't. This is the support legs. There's 3 of them. One of them has a crank. This thing allows you to adjust the height of this one so that you can adjust the dish up and back. And that's what this is for. As you can see, it's not very long. Basically, these legs fit into here. They don't go like this, they go like this, where the holes are. But each one goes into these like little slots. If I can even, there we go. And it stands up on this. And then this one, out of the three, has the crank up ability, so that the elevational height and the angle can be adjusted. Now, what you're not seeing with this is that there's actually... There's what you're not seeing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 pieces to this. 6 of these little pieces. And in the middle, where each of the elements will touch each other, is this little circular cylinder, this little circle here. And all of them will meet around this circle. So that's basically how this works. The dish is something you build. It just requires some mechanical skill, screws and that sort of thing. It's basically all it needs is the screws, and probably takes about 2 hours to fully assemble this thing, I presume. It'll probably take me 3 hours because I'm going to go slow with it. Make sure I do it right. I mean, there really are no instructions for this. I mean, they're assuming that this is very elementary. This is very simple. And you can see there are various things here. These are actually the parts that connect. This is what is called a prime focus C-band dish. So these arms are going to connect from the outer part of the dish, the outer part, which is over here, and are going to connect towards a center point, a central location where the L&B will be placed. And then you connect the L&B to it, mount it down, and you're good to go. So that's basically it. I have to build this thing. Again, I'm assuming 2 to 3 hours outside, and hopefully I can do this when it gets a little bit warmer. Right now it's only like 5 degrees outside. We're in the middle of winter. In the end, this is what the dish will look like when it's complete. So hopefully that gives you some idea of what this thing is going to be when it's done. Hopefully this gives you an idea. This is the actual schematic, and it's in Chinese. But I don't need it because in my mind, I have a visual of what this thing should look like, and it looks pretty much like this when it's completed. But it's a very simple design, actually, really, when you think about it. It really is. It's very simple. I just need to decide. This is the base. This is the part that goes right here. You see this little circular thing here? See that little circular thing around the inner part of the dish? That's what this one is. This one is the one that goes down at the base, down on the ground. What I have to do is figure out how I'm going to anchor this down to the ground. Now, my initial thought was to use sandbags. Sandbags, bricks, or stones to anchor it to the ground so it will not move, so that the wind will not blow it around. That's one of the greatest problems with satellite dishes, is when the wind decides to blow your dish slightly off center. And then you have a misaligned dish. And so basically this is what it's going to look like when it's all done. So, yeah. So there you go. That's the C-band. You see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. And there you go. Thank you for watching.